Hey everyone, how's it going? Thanks so much for tuning in. For today's video, Land Rover has given us the opportunity to experience the 2015 Range Rover Evoque. Our tester starts out around $41,000, but as equipped it's around $51,000. A full price breakdown can be found in the description box below. As always guys, this is going to be a detailed in-depth review of the Evoque. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip, go over the performance data, take it on a thorough road test, and show you many of the unique aspects of both the interior as well as exterior. And so, without further ado, let's go and hop on in, start it up, let it run. Our tester is finished in Yulong white with an almond leather interior and espresso accents across the doors, dash, and carpeting. To start, make sure you have the key fob within the interior, put your foot on the brake, then hit the dash mounted button to go. The Evoque features electrically assisted rack and pinion steering that's routed through the 3-spoke leather-wrapped multifunction steering wheel. Satin silver brightwork highlights the controls in the upper spokes and lower split spoke. The overall ratio is 15.4 and takes 2.47 turns to lock. Turning diameter is 37.1 feet. The steering rack is solidly mounted to the subframe to enhance precision and feedback. It's a fun little thing to toss around. The steering is smooth and responsive, but firm enough to deliver a level of sport you'd expect out of this class. We'll discuss how it hits the road, including comfort and ride quality, later on in the video. Introduced for 2014, the ZF 9HP 9-speed automatic transmission, which replaced the previous 6-speed automatic, continues to be the sole transmission offered. Its wider spread of gear ratios leads to improved fuel economy over earlier models. It behaves similar to some of the Chrysler Group applications we've driven lately, but it definitely felt more at home here. You can place the transmission into a sport mode, which holds the gears longer between shifts, and you can also shift it manually via the paddles behind the steering wheel. The shifts are very smooth. I haven't driven the old 6-speed, so it's hard to comment on the differences, but I saw no issues with performance after a week of driving. And like we'll talk about later in the video, overall the vehicle feels very sprightly around town. It's routed through a familiar aluminum rotary dial with a grippy knurled finish. It automatically rises out of the center console when you start it up and tucks back away after you shut it off, similar to the Range Rover flagship and other Jaguar products. In addition to your typical backup camera with adaptive guidance lines, there's also an available 360-degree camera system. There's 5 different cameras in all, placed all the way around the body to give you a bird's eye view of every single corner practically, allowing for easier parking and greater viewing when going off-road. There's some special views and stuff, and you can customize it to different views depending on what you're doing with it. As you'd expect from a vehicle that wears the Range Rover badge, the Evoque features an advanced 4-wheel drive system as standard equipment, paired with the terrain response system. It's not quite as complex as the Range Rover flagship, only having 4 modes, but you can also have 5 modes to tailor driving dynamics for any road or driving situation. Our tester is missing the dynamic mode, of course, which we'll cover later on. There's a general program for everyday driving, grass, gravel, snow, sand, as well as mud ruts. Other assist systems include hill descent control, gradient release control, hill start assist, and more. There's also a standard auto start stop feature to help you save a little bit of fuel when coming to a stop, and that feature can be turned on or off via a button in the center console. So let's go ahead and flip on the automatic bifunction HID projector headlamps, LED fog lamps, rear fog lamps, and the hazards. All 4 windows are fully automatic, and we'll go ahead and check out the exterior. The Evoque is the smallest, lightest, and most fuel-efficient Range Rover you can buy. First introduced back in 2012, the Evoque is available in 2 body styles, a 5-door and a 3-door coupe. They measure the same length and width, but the 5-door has a 1.18-inch higher rear roofline. The 5-door starts around $41,400, while the coupe starts around $46,600. Land Rover is also launching a convertible version for 2017, which I really look forward to checking out. Our tester can be had in 5 trim levels: Pure, Pure Plus, Pure Premium, Prestige, and Dynamic. However, there's just 3 trim levels for the Coupe: Pure Plus, Pure Premium, and Dynamic. The 2016 model, which is already on sale, features a number of updates inside and out, including performance, styling, and quality. The trim levels have also been renamed more along the lines of its larger brethren. I'll save those details for a future review hopefully, but it's worth checking out the Land Rover website to compare and contrast. The biggest changes for our tester was back in 2014 with the adoption of a new 9-speed automatic transmission with an active 4-wheel drive system and torque vectoring. We'll discuss this more later in the video. There's also a host of new driver assist features such as adaptive cruise control, forward collision alert, intelligent emergency braking, and more. Looking at the vehicle as a whole, it's easy to see that the Evoque builds upon numerous classic Range Rover styling cues, repackaged into a sportier, more compact layout. It really is a cool silhouette in person and distinctively Land Rover. There's a lot of curves, creases, and horizontal elements thrown in. The clamshell hood, floating roof, and wide stance should be instantly familiar and are even more exaggerated in the Evoque. For example, I really like the flared wheel arches, which give it a muscular stance. The front arches intersect with the hood and meet up at the fender vents. They also provide the starting point for a major styling line that extends down the body underneath the door handles and into the LED accented tail lamps. The dark lower cladding gives it a rugged demeanor, contrasted by light silver portions. The little raised accents in the center portions of the wheel arches is another cool touch. As seen on this example, xenon headlamps are available with Range Rover's signature LED accents, complemented by LED fog lamps. The sides further add to the dynamic profile with a rising belt line and broad shoulders that narrow the gap between the tapered roof line. A laminated glass panoramic roof is standard on all models but the entry-level Pure 5-door, and it's finished off with a roof-mounted spoiler. Down in the very bottom you have twin polished exhaust outlets. Sculpted corners visually reduce the front and rear overhangs and help create approach, breakover, and departure angles of 25, 22, and 33 degrees respectively. The Evoque Dynamic adds more aggressive body sides and fascias, which lessen the approach and departure angles a bit, trading some off-road ability and clearance for added style. Ground clearance is around 8.3 inches, while maximum water wading depth is 19.7 inches. Unlike the larger Range Rovers, the Evoque primarily uses steel, but features a number of lightweight materials here and there. For example, the unitized body structure uses more than 18% boron steel and high-strength steels in key load-bearing areas such as the A and B pillars, not to mention the side sills to resist deformation in the event of an accident and improve occupant safety. Polymer and composite materials make up the front fenders and tailgate. Aluminum makes up the hood and roof panels. Magnesium is used for the cross-car beam or instrument panel structure, and the front lower control arms and front and rear suspension knuckles also use aluminum. The Evoque may not be for everyone, but it's definitely worth a look if you're shopping for a compact luxury SUV. You might even want to consider the new Land Rover Discovery Sport if you want to stay within the family, which should offer a bit more practicality. The Evoque boasts a high-quality design and great attention to detail with premium features. It's also quite customizable, whether it be the distinct trim levels, colors, wheels, or technology. It's a funky little thing with a cool personality that combines a lot of flexibility through its 4-wheel drive system and sprightly performance for a daily driver. The Evoque comes standard with 19 by 8-inch aluminum alloy wheels, while 20-inch options are also available. These silver-painted 6-spoke units are wrapped in 235/55 all-season tires, able to hold around 0.83 g of lateral acceleration. Bringing the compact SUV to a stop from 60 miles an hour takes less than 120 feet thanks to a 4-wheel internally ventilated disc braking system with single-piston sliding calipers, 11.8-inch discs in front and 11.9-inch discs in the rear. The suspension consists of independent McPherson struts at each corner with added lateral and longitudinal links at the rear. While not equipped on our tester, the Evoque is also offered with magnetic ride control, which uses magnetorological damping fluid and a computer-controlled magnetic field inside the damper to vary between a more comfort-oriented ride to a firmer ride at the driver's discretion. If equipped, it'll be routed through the dynamic mode via the terrain response system we touched on earlier. The fixed damping setup here delivers a firm and compliant ride, erring on the sporty side over luxury. This isn't something I imagine people would be pushing to the limit, but even during spirited driving it handles pretty well considering its higher ride height. Over rough road you do feel imperfections, but they're controlled and don't disturb the interior's otherwise quiet nature. A cool trick with the active driveline is that the Evoque is able to decouple 4-wheel drive when cruising at speeds above 22 miles an hour when 4-wheel drive isn't needed. This reduces driveline lag and improves efficiency. When 4-wheel drive is needed though, it re-engages in as little as 300 milliseconds. It also features an electronic limited slip rear differential to distribute torque to whichever rear wheel has the most grip for enhanced stability and traction. Overall length is 171.5 inches with a width of 78.1 inches and a height of 64.4 inches. Wheelbase is 104.8 inches, while curb weight starts at around 3,680 pounds. The Evoque is powered by a turbocharged 2-liter inline 4-cylinder, more or less the same motor used in upper trim levels of the Ford Escape. The all-aluminum engine features dual overhead cams, 4 valves per cylinder, dual variable valve timing, and direct fuel injection. The compression ratio is 10:1 with a 6,850 RPM red line. It develops 240 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 250 pound-feet of torque at 1,750 RPM. This translates to a 0 to 60 time of 7.1 seconds and a top speed of 135 miles an hour. The power ratings seem pretty good for this class and even eclipse some of the competition. When extra throttle is applied, boost comes on strong. It takes some practice to balance throttle input with the level of boost being applied, but around town it feels very quick, while highway pickup is also impressive and never feels down on power. Like we talked about earlier, the ZF 9-speed automatic, also used in various Chrysler Group products, does lead to better fuel economy and perhaps even better towing and off-road performance with the lower first gear. I haven't driven the previous 6-speed, so I can't comment on acceleration differences, but the Evoque is without a doubt the best application of this 9-speed that I've driven lately. As far as fuel economy, the Evoque is rated between 21 miles to a gallon in the city and 30 on the highway, averaging in the neighborhood of 24 miles to a gallon. Premium fuel is required and is held within an 18.5 gallon tank. One of the nicest things about this baby Range Rover is the interior, which is clearly inspired from its larger brethren, from its signature command driving position to the horizontal dash, flowing center console, excellent build quality, and a generous list of standard and available features. The majority of interior surfaces are wrapped in some form of soft material, whether it's soft-touch plastics or synthetic leathers. Our Tester is also more or less a mid-range model. You can opt for more genuine materials such as soft leather across the doors, dash, and other key areas in the upper trim levels. In addition to your choice of materials, there's also a wide variety of interior color options from two-tone themes like you have here, color accent stitching, and so much more. All of your power accessories are located on the driver's door, including power folding mirrors, and there's a pretty decent amount of storage in the lower door panels. The seats are fully powered for both the driver and passenger and feature two-way power lumbar. The seats are definitely quite sporty. They're also pretty comfortable. There's good lateral support across the back, a modest amount in the bottom cushion. It's easy to get comfortable and you have 3-person memory on the driver's door. With the command driving position, you really do have excellent visibility all the way around. There's a lot of glass, even though you have smaller windows towards the back like behind the C-pillars. There's an available 360-degree camera system like we talked about earlier, in addition to the various parking sensors. So no matter where I drove this, I never had a hard time piloting it. Heated seats were not equipped on our Tester, but I believe they are available. While all Evoques in general can seat up to 5 people, when you opt for the 5-door, you have about 2 inches of additional shoulder space for rear seat passengers. Exclusive to the Coupe, you can also opt for 2 seats in the rear, so individual seats, but at the expense of hauling the extra passenger. The headrests are adjustable vertically, and you have adjustable seat belts with plenty of airbags all the way around, including knee airbags. I love the floating console, has a little bit of storage space underneath, and the brushed aluminum brightwork is beautiful. The aluminum and many other interior components are actually made from a majority of recyclable materials. The steering wheel is manual tilting telescoping, the upper portion of the dash is wrapped in synthetic leather, and you have the standard glass roof.
So let's go ahead and see how she sounds. And we'll go ahead and shut her up.
An 11-speaker 380-watt Meridian audio system is standard, but equipped on our tester and part of the Pure Premium package is a 17-speaker 825-watt Meridian surround sound system that sounds fantastic. This one also features available SiriusXM satellite radio and HD radio, along with standard AM, FM, a CD player, and hands-free Bluetooth connectivity for both telephone and audio. It's routed through an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system that we'll go through in just a bit. All of the pillars are padded, of course, side curtain airbags, and padded visors. You have a little card holder off to the right and illuminated vanity mirrors. In the middle is an auto-dimming view mirror with 3-position garage home link, your hands-free Bluetooth microphones located at either side, and touch-sensitive LED interior illumination, from the main lighting to the reading lamps on the outer portions. Otherwise, the top stack houses a padded sunglass container and the controls for the fully automatic power sunshade.
The infotainment system is identical to any other Jaguar Land Rover product that I've profiled recently, so I won't go into this too heavy. It doesn't have the touch-sensitive controls on either side, but the features and functionality are identical, like I said. This is the home menu activated by that button right there. You have a setup menu so you can customize various settings, activate your parking sensors, change the different media mode, go to your audio video screen, navigation, and hands-free Bluetooth telephone. Satellite radio is standard. You could change the source for the different media devices there. It's definitely not a bad system at all. I like the way it's organized and stuff. It's a little bit outdated, especially when it comes to the camera screens and stuff. The resolution isn't that great, but still, it offers a tremendous amount of functionality, so not too much to complain about that. For what it is, it's extremely easy to use. There's a little bit of lag between the menus, but it's not too bad. The extra features, like I talked about earlier, go in between your different camera settings, the 4x4 screen. You can adjust the interior ambient lighting, which is pretty cool, especially at night. Going into stealth mode. That's also pretty cool. It entirely blacks out the screen, so there's no like gray screen or anything like that at night. If you want it off, you can actually put it completely off. And eco data, you can see how economical you're driving, check on your journeys, things like that. That's just a quick overview of the system. If you'd like to see it a little bit more in depth in action, check the right hand corner of this video player. I have some of my other Jaguar Land Rover product reviews listed. Continuing down the center console, you can definitely tell the latest Range Rover DNA styling language is all apparent here. I mean, flat dash, flowing center console, and I like this unique floating portion right here where it has a bit of extra storage. Right here you have a dual zone electronic automatic climate control system, temperature on either side, fan speed, front and rear defrost, different zones, pretty typical. In-dash CD player up top with some basic radio controls, electronic parking brake, downhill assist, eco start stop, and traction control. Your terrain response 4-wheel drive settings. Open this up, you have 2 metallic lined cup holders, a 12-volt power outlet, and a small bit of storage. The brushed aluminum trim coming down the center console and the dash is also a really nice touch. The padded center console is sliding, pretty nice touch, and then you open it up, it's lined in felt, houses another power outlet, and has an auxiliary and USB port for media integration. Attention to detail is also really nice. I like the double accent stitching. As far as the steering wheel, on the right hand side you have your driver information controls that correspond to that digital display there, radio controls off to the left, hands-free telephone voice commands, and cruise control. Help.
Voice help. Voice commands are generally given in the following format: device, function, and setting. To give a command, briefly press the voice button and speak naturally after the tone.
Your wiper controls, including your automatic rain sensing front wipers, and your lighting and turn signals. Using the arrow pad for the driver information system, which actually displays quite a lot of information, distance till empty like fuel, vehicle temperature, gear, a digital speed readout, outside temperature, a clock, and your radio data or media data. Various driving features.
Some extra safety bits, trip computer, customizing the instrument display, vehicle setup, more personalizable options, and you can play with that when you check out the vehicle in person. The three-dimensional gauge highlights are also pretty cool. These lighted portions right here stick out a little bit from the numbers, providing a pretty cool effect at night. Alrighty. We'll go ahead and shut her down. Now let's go ahead and hop in the back seat, check out overall space and amenities. So the back seat is a lot roomier and nicer than I initially thought it would be. I mean, I've checked out all of the larger Range Rovers. I mean, the Range Rover Sport and the full-size Range Rover, and this thing is really tiny compared to those. But despite its small exterior dimensions and sloping roofline, the interior is pretty accommodating, I think, at least for my height. I'm 5'10", with a comfortable seating position for myself in front. I probably have about 3 inches of leg space, and with the sunshade pulled back, I'd estimate it to be 4 inches of headspace. I mean, I'm not cramped back here by any means, and this glass roof is amazing, letting in so much natural light, and it's tinted so you don't have to worry about baking on a hot sunny day. The back seat is also really comfortable. There's a lot of padding in the lower cushion, good lower back support up top here. I mean, I could travel in this just fine. Pull down the middle armrest. It's also padded. You have a little storage cubby there, 2 cup holders, a little bit shallow, so you're not going to be putting too big of drinks back here, I wouldn't think. You can sit 3 people. The middle person might be a little cramped, especially if they're about my height. A little bit of a drivetrain hump. Definitely would be shoulder space will be the tightest thing back here. But you do have an adjustable third headrest, which is a nice touch in addition to the outer adjustable units. Down below here, you have a small storage tray, 2 air vents to keep everything nice and cool, storage pockets on the back of the seats, of course, side curtain airbags, and you have reading lamps. But yeah, that's about it. Not too much in terms of technology or anything like that. You have a lot of storage in the door panels here, a lot of good soft touch material, just like you have in the front. Very well put together, very roomy for the size, and comfortable. I mean, not too bad at all. So let's go and check out the cargo space out back.
Our tester features the available power liftgate. Inside you'll find plenty of soft carpeting with durable and adjustable cargo tie-downs and aluminum detailing. You can remove the privacy cover for greater storage. With the rear seats upright, there's 20.3 cubic feet of cargo space, a little bit less for the Coupe. Fold the seats down and the total space more than doubles to 51 cubic feet. The Coupe is slightly less at a total of 47.6 cubic feet. Underneath the trunk floor, which you can fold back a few steps, there's a temporary spare tire. Not to mention plenty of illumination out back and a 12-volt power outlet. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the 2015 Range Rover Evoque. Be sure to stay tuned next time, there's a lot more where that came from. Take care everybody.